Thank you, Lindsay. It was so beautiful. And welcome to the October series of talks. And the theme of all of October is called Cosmic Connections. But first, I just want to say that it's so good to have smiling faces in the audience and feeling you guys' loving energy. And so it's a special thing that we can come together and do it safely and have this in-person safe service. So it means a lot to me. And what we're talking about today is we're really talking about the concept of oneness again, and the sub-theme is just like me. So, and what's at the base of that is some of our spiritual principles, of course. We all love our spiritual principles and spiritual practices. And I'm going to relate to some of the spiritual principles, and Reverend Nicole is going to bring out some of the spiritual practices today. And so what we have here, and for those of you who are new to this tradition and what we teach here, we celebrate the fact that the divine is in each of us. So there's no schism between God, spirit, life, love, whatever you want to call it, and us. It's like that old spiritual tradition that relates to the ocean. We're not the entire ocean, but we're the entire ocean. We have whatever the ocean has in us in a single drop. So we have this essence of spirit inside of us. We always have, we always will. There's nothing that we needed to do to earn that. John, could you put up that first slide? And so there's a relationship with, the slide calls it the universal mind. You can call it infinite spirit. You can call it the entire essence of God, whatever you are. And what we dwell in, what we think in, because we put our own personality on it. And this essence, and so what we image for ourselves, it images for us. So Ernest Holmes would tell us there's a power for good in the universe and we can use it. Wayne Dyer would say, whatever you think about expands. And the master teacher Jesus would say, it is done unto you as you believe. So whatever we think into this space, and we tend to call it the law here, or the universal law. And the law, all it does, it knows how to produce what is thought into it. So if you want to change your life, it's all about changing your thoughts and your intentions and follow that with your actions. It's a powerful, powerful place for us to be. And John, can you give me the second slide, please? And we teach this thing called the creative process here. I'm sorry. If they can't see it. So it goes like this. What we outwardly are and what we become depends upon what we are thinking. For this is the way we use the creative power. So there's a power and presence that whatever we think expands. And so it's not the life that a lot of us grew up taught in our mainstream upbringing. It's not a life that we're dependent on the external world, the dog-eat-dog world, and whatever happens to us, we have no control over. It's not that we are victims to the external world, because there's an ancient tradition in the Hindu philosophy that says consciousness is a ground of all being. Consciousness is the ground of all being. And that ancient tradition was proven in the quantum physics, because in the quantum physics, there's an experiment that everything is existing in potentiality until we choose what the reality will be. And once we choose, that reality condenses down into our physical reality. It's a great and powerful thing, because what it's telling us is that we are not victims. We do not have to take what the world gives us. And our thoughts and our intentions and how we live our life is important to us, because as we think, so we become. And as we think, so we change the world around us over and over again. And so with this philosophy, and it's a standard philosophy, we talk about it here every weak, with this philosophy comes responsibility. And so if we want to create this great space in our life, if we want to create this life that's better than it was yesterday, I have 3 suggestions that we can do. One, we can connect with ourselves. And hopefully we're connecting with ourselves of the divine inside of ourselves, rather than all the fears that are running around the monkey mind each and every day. We're not connecting with our fears and what people have told us, the things that will never get ahead or will never be worthwhile or life is really bad. We want to connect with that divine within ourselves. We don't want to wake up grumpy and say, oh God, another day. We want to wake up and say, this is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice, to paraphrase Psalms. And so that's working on ourselves. We can wake up and we can do our affirmations. Instead of worrying all the time, we can wake up and do those things and know ourselves, be in contact with that powerful part of ourselves, Ernest Holmes says there's a powerful good in the universe, and we can make use of it. So when we wake up, we can connect with ourselves and start doing that. And the second thing I'm going to suggest, this relationship, in the first slide, it said it's one of reflection. And so that means that we can think into spirit, and spirit will manifest for us. But the reflective part of that is that we want to think the right thoughts. And Ernest Holmes has a great saying that I love, and I'll paraphrase it to modernize the language. He says, God is always God, but we are always a choice. So when we decide what we want in our lives, we can look at the outside world, go to our old belief systems, maybe go to those limited belief systems, and we will get something, but maybe not as powerful as if we do it another way. And that other way is, I'm saying, we connect with spirit. So we stop telling spirit what to do. And for me, this has been one of the most powerful practices I've ever done. Here, we're not talking, we're not doing affirmations, we're not impressing our thoughts, we're listening. We're listening, and we're saying, spirit, God, love, the universe, whatever you want to call it. What is it that I need to learn from this situation? What is it that I need to go forward with? I think my mission in life is sort of changed. What is my new mission? What are my new intentions that will really serve me to my highest and highest level? And that's in the listening mode. And Thomas Troward called that the reciprocal action of spirit. So one, we're just totally listening, trying to gain the wisdom, because the spirit has a wisdom that doesn't rely on what's happened in the past. Because a spirit is there before the physical universe anyway. So we can gain some great insight just by listening with all of our body, with all of our emotions, and being okay with not outlining. And the third one, and I think Reverend Nicole is going to expand on it much more, this is where the oneness comes in. We go connect with another. And to me, so it's not just me or you or this special group, or this group is special, but we're not the only one who have this access to the divinity inside of us. We're not the only one who can listen to spirit and impress what we want, our thoughts, and get a wonderful life. We're all like that. So we need to go out there and connect with others. And I love the Buddhist terms, compassion, which means to sit with another. And that's to sit with another, not in pity, but to sit with another with all the humanity that you have. Have you walked through their shoes? No, but you've probably walked through something similar to that. And you can sit with them with the humanity, not trying to fix them, letting them know that they are perfectly okay, and being there with them, feeling their sadness with them. And so that's part of what we do in the world. And it's really a beautiful place to be because we're there with another person, with our emotions, with our heart, and not judging, not trying to fix, just sitting with another. And with that, I'm going to welcome Reverend Nicole up here. God bless you and thank you.
I love that. Thank you, Michael. I love the talk title this morning, Just Like Me. Just like me. Because we, well, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's hard to see how people are just like us, you know? I had two things happen yesterday. I had a phone call with, I had a phone call with a woman, a congregant, and she was saying, you know, I'm going through this situation, and it has to do with other family members and different things. She says, and I just don't get it, because I wake up in the morning and I do my spiritual practice and I'm feeling good, I'm feeling like in alignment, I'm feeling right. And then by the end of the day, I'm like a total wreck, a total mess, because I had to deal with my family, and it's, you know, very hard to remember truth or stay in that connectedness when I'm around them. Is there anybody like that in your life or in the world that you feel like, dang, they were able to throw me off of that solid pedestal of knowing, right? And then we had our women's group, and in our women's group yesterday, which if you haven't joined it, it's really beautiful experience. But what came about was this desire just to connect. And so many of the people who were on the women's group said, you know what, I feel closer to you guys now during these Zoom calls, these Zoom video things, than I did when I would just see you on Sunday. And of course, you know, Sunday is a day where there's lots of people, and so it's hard to have deep connections on Sundays. But they said, that is what my spirit has been calling for, is just to connect. And I think we've come to a point, it's been 7 months, hasn't been 9 months, so that full birthing process isn't fully birthed, but we're getting there. And I think it's becoming more okay, it feels less resistant to connect with others through different platforms than one-on-one in person. Although I have to tell you that this feels like a spiritual high for me right now, because there's literally human beings in this room with me. So that's very nice, very good. So there's some practices that we can use when we do encounter those people who somehow we felt really solid and like we were in alignment, and we were very positive, and we thought we were doing really well. And then there's somebody who comes along and just knocks us off track. Or, I mean, it could be anything from, right, your neighbor, your teenagers. I have 2 of them at home doing school, right? It could be, you know, politicians. It could be anything in the world. But just like me. It's very hard to have compassion and empathy, and it's a lot easier to stay in alignment with what we say we believe. It's a lot easier for us to be what we believe when we have tools to use to bring us to that place. And so that's what I want to do with you this morning. I was going to pull the chair over, but that's okay. So we're going to just do a little meditation. Is that okay? A little meditation. So this is called Just Like Me. Just Like Me meditation. And we can use it anywhere. Don't use it while you're driving, but besides that, you can use it at any time. And so just close your eyes for a moment and feel yourself being centered and grounded. Just allow that support from your chair to be a symbol for the support of the beloved, that beloved life force energy that is always caring for us and loving us and filling us with its light and life. And just breathe into that for a moment. I just want to invite you to imagine someone pulling up a chair in front of you, sitting, looking at you, who you love. And I invite you to just feel that love. Just stare at that person in the eyes and feel that love. And in so many different ways, we can say to ourselves, this person has a body and a mind, just like me. This person has feelings and emotions and thoughts, just like me. Maybe a memory comes up and it brings you joy or a smile on your face. This person has at times been sad and disappointed and angry and hurt and confused, just like me. And I want to invite us to just be here with this individual, this human being, this divine being that is so resonating with us, that we can feel and see and embrace the love in. And there's a Tibetan practice of breathing in suffering and breathing out joy. And instead of that, I want to just kind of redirect that and invite us to just breathe in all of the goodness and the love that we feel in this connection to this person. And allow it to manifest tenfold and breathe out. Take a deep breath in, breathing in all of that goodness, all of that love, all of that just like me-ness. And allow it to multiply. And I invite you now to allow that person to leave and allow someone to come to mind and come into this seat right before you, who you have struggle having compassion for, have frustration, have irritation with. Someone, we all have someone, whether it's a real person, whether it's a figment, whether it's someone we know, someone who's passed, someone who's still here. Nobody else is going to know who that is, but allow them to sit before you. And just feeling safe in all of that love and goodness that you just embraced and experienced with that person before. I invite you to think to yourself, to feel into yourself as you look this person in the eyes. This person has a body and a mind, just like me. This person has feelings and emotions and thoughts, just like me. This person has at some point been sad or disappointed or angry or hurt or confused, just like me. this person has in his or her life experienced physical and emotional pain and suffering, just like me. And this person wishes to be free from pain and suffering, just like me. Just keep breathing. And realize this person wishes to be safe and healthy and loved, just like me. And this person wishes to be happy, just like me. And then stretching our hearts, stretching that ability for compassion, stretching that divine intuition within us. I invite us to allow some wishes to arise for them. I wish for this person to have the strength, the resources, the social support to navigate the difficulties in their life. I wish for this person to be happy. I wish for this person to be free from pain and suffering. Because this person is a fellow human being, just like me. And I invite you to take a deep breath in, filling your lungs and your body and your belly with all of that goodness that you are, that you just expressed. And allow yourself to exhale 10 times that amount of goodness into the vicinity of this other person. And allow them to get up and walk away. And just being with ourselves here in this moment. Knowing the good work that we have done, the conscious, compassionate connection that we have just made, brother to brother, sister to sister, whatever it is, human family to human family, spiritual being to spiritual being. We put our faith into practice. We expressed the definition of namaste. The divine within us had compassion and saw the divine within the other. And you can take a deep breath and just be here now with us. You can open your eyes if you'd like. In this way, we get to realize that just like us, there are people, no matter what we tell ourselves, no matter what our ego says, no matter what they express to us, that in some way they are just like us. And so in connecting with ourselves, like Reverend Michael said, preferably in the morning because it creates a really great foundation for the rest of your day. And then connecting with that divine within us, it'll remind us. There will be times when we're like a total wreck, right? We're crazy, when we're like, this person's driving me insane. And then we say, oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that just like me, this person, whatever it is. And so I wanna just invite us to think about that this week, to take this time, which I am calling this time of our lives, this year, a spiritual awakening, a spiritual revolution, because we collectively chose to bring our spiritual vision into focus. which means that collectively, cosmically, we've all been hit over the head by that 2x4, right? Not just individually, but cosmically we have been. And we have been given the opportunity to go within the caves and the crevices and the darkness and then the soil of our own lives, and to allow that new seed of divine expression to start to germinate and to start to grow. And eventually, if you haven't yet, we will see the light. Our roots being deep, allowing ourselves the time to be silent and still and with ourselves and alone, it will germinate and it will grow and it will grow and it will grow. And I am so excited for each one of us to have a vision of our future, of what 2030 will look like in a new, beautiful way, because we are creating that right now. This is the soil for our truth and our future. And so thank you for sharing this time, for connecting, for being here, because we are this community. We are Steel Beach Center for Spiritual Living, no matter where we are. You are too, all of you. I know I'm looking this way because I'm looking at you on your on the chat room. We are. And so I love you all.